Hi, I'm Jason Sullivan of Rathbone Group. In this video of on subrogation, we're going to talk about if your car's been hijacked. Not hijacked in the sense of somebody pulled a gun and told the driver to get out of the vehicle, but rather, what if a body shop is charging unreasonable or inflated storage costs or tow fees? What do you do if you're an insurance carrier who's trying to get your insured's vehicle back, but it's being held hostage? For storage fees, there's a couple of things that you need to be aware of and think about when you're presented with those costs. First, most state law and their fair trade laws and consumer protection laws require that body shops give notice of any storage charges. Many states require that that be in writing and sometimes even signed off on by an insured or their customer before those charges can be incurred. Another state like Florida and many others have a cap on when those storage costs can begin to occur. For instance, Florida has the 3-day rule that from the date of termination and notification of termination of the services provided, the insured or customer has 3 days to pick up their vehicle before storage costs can be incurred. In California, determining what's a reasonable storage fee has become a bit of an issue. There was a law passed several years ago that stated that storage fees are either set at whatever is being charged by the California Highway Patrol or local police agency, or whatever reasonably being charged by body shops in the area. The issue is California Highway Patrol was charging $45 a day for storage. A lot of body shops were charging a lot more than that, as were their competitors in certain geographic areas. Insurance companies stopped paying whatever the posted rate was and began deferring down to the $45 a day charge that was charged by the California Highway Patrol. There's been a lot of an issue over who has the duty to show what the reasonable charge is and whether the California Highway Patrol is in fact accurate or who can show that there's actually a higher rate that's reasonable under those circumstances. Finally, you also have to think about mechanics liens. A mechanics lien is a lien that is created by statute. Most states don't have this in their case law. Rather, the legislature passed a law that said body shops or mechanics, or in other cases, artisans who do work on a project can retain possession of that project until their work is paid for. This can create a little bit of an issue because not all work creates a mechanics lien, and you have to look at each state statute to understand whether or not what the body shop did is enough to create a mechanics lien, and then the ramifications of that mechanics lien. Are they entitled to hold on to possession of that vehicle? If you Google on the internet fair and reasonable storage cost, you'll see a lot of back and forth. Those from the body shop that rightfully say we need to be paid for the services we provided, and having this vehicle in our location, taking up space, preventing other vehicles from coming in, costs us and we need to be compensated for it. On the other side, you worry about price gouging. Somebody who has the car and then is now hostage and has to pay to get it back, and they're just stuck at whatever rate the body shop says. States have different laws on what is required, and so you want to really make sure you know what's going on in your state, where that vehicle is, to know the rights of the parties. For the mechanics lien issue, out there, you've heard the saying, possession is 9/10 of the law. If the mechanic has it, now they're going to force you to deal with them and presumably pay whatever they're stating must be paid in order to get that car back. If you can get the car released without paying that, now you've turned the tables and your insured has their vehicle, and if the body shop wants to file a suit over what they believe is a reasonable storage cost, now they're in the position of having to file that suit and pursue their claim. Again, it's not that storage costs shouldn't be incurred and that insurance companies shouldn't have to pay for these things. A lot of insurance companies have a policy provision that says their insured has a duty to prevent further damage. So when a vehicle is damaged in a car accident and windows are broken, you're going to need to protect the interior of that vehicle from additional damage by rain or other elements, and that's likely going to require inside storage. Many insurance policies will pay for that, and now we get down to the issue of what is reasonable. As noted in that California case, reasonable can be defined in two different ways that may be inconsistent with each other, and now you have a battle that lawyers have to figure out who's going to have the more reasonable or better argument of what the appropriate cost should be. If the money's already been paid and now it hits your desk and you're trying to get that money back, It's a pretty difficult position to be in because you have already spent the money, and there's an argument that by agreeing to pay, you already agreed that was reasonable. Now you have to weigh the costs and benefits of the costs. This doesn't come up a lot with direct repair shops because there's a contract between the insurance company and the body shop as to how these things are going to be handled. But with independent body shops that want to be paid for their services, now you have the issue of how does this get resolved. Again, make sure you understand the law on mechanics liens and look to see whether the body shop filed all the fair trade and consumer protection rules about disclosure of the storage rates and whether or not your insured consented. If you can get that information, then you can determine the strength of your case and whether or not it's something you need to pursue, or if you haven't paid yet, whether you actually have to pay or whether you're in a position to negotiate after you demand the vehicle back. For On Subrogation and Rathbone Group, I'm Jason Sullivan, and that's the long and short of it.